Hey everybody, what's happening? I'm Tommy and you are on the lifeboat. So this is it's funny how days slide into days, right? We all kind of thought that Monday was going to be the day that we heard about the bail thing on Diddy. Didn't happen yet, right? Killer C, how are you? Allison Metcalf Palumbo, good to see you. Kestrel, what's happening in Carnosol? Good to see you. Christy Hughes, how are you? Miss Tiny Tornado, Kestrel, doing all right? Doing all right? I hope so. This is one of those things, people. We're gonna be sitting on the edge for a while. And yes, they did just send people out to go check out this apartment. That's legit, and that's a bummer. And I know that people are starting to do that chewing on the fingernails thing, right? Legit, it's legit. Moonhawk, what's happening? Whine a little bit more. How are you, Garen? You doing all right? James, what's up? Laura, good to see you. KK, that would be Aunt KK. Armine, good to see you, Armine. And the Arabian Bard, how are you? Arwa, good to see you. Good to see you. Not feeling well. Get some thoughts and prayers for the Arabian Bard, please. Hey, Sharon Thompson. Caitlin, Mother Earth. See, not good news? No, you know what? It sounds like it's not. Myler's Keeper, how are you? Queen Quiche, how are you? So, as I have told you in the past, the feds never let me out. Not a once. Do you know how many times they sent people out to go look at my place, though? Every single time. Got to justify all of those. Got to justify all those jobs. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but honestly, it's kind of like when you go to do paper, right? They absolutely waste an awful lot of time sending people out looking at things they had no intention whatsoever of ever letting you go. They don't. But they're going to go and check it out because they don't know what the judge is going to do. It's on them. If by some chance the judge goes in and he goes, yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Right? Then everybody goes, oh, crap. B Minor, good to see you. How are you? Jeremy Fowler, good to see you. Britt, what's happening? They got to cover their backside. Right? You feel me? Growler, welcome to the boat. Glad you're here. Good to see you. Deanna Downey, how are you? Hey, Kirsten. Listen, this is all hope is not lost. I promise. You understand where we're coming from on this? Think about it logically for a second. This isn't the judge saying to him, all right, I'm ruling in this favor. Go out there and make sure everything is okay. They don't know what the judge is going to do. In theory, the judge does this all on his own. There's no coercion. There's no collusion. This is the judge going in, looking at all of the documents, right? And then saying, all right, we're either going to believe that there is a set of circumstances that we can put into place that will make the community safe, that will make Diddy safe, and that will allow him to participate in his own defense and yada, yada, yada. So because of the fact that this is a whole different group of people, right? Pretrial services. Hey, Millie, pretrial services has to go out and look at this. It would be a real you-know-what show. Hey, Mr. Wolf, if they got in there and said, hey, guess what? We're doing it. Pretrial services, what do you think of the location? Honestly, Your Honor, we didn't think there was a chance in hell you were going to do this. So we went to TGI Fridays. No, we didn't actually go out and check it out. So hopefully you're not too bummed out. No, they're going to go out and they're going to check everything out. That's how it works. It's just the way it works. Doesn't mean that there's a snowball in hell chance, but there could be. I don't know. I really don't. Yeah, there's no way. I understand where you're coming from on this, Mr. Wolf, but there's not much chance of that. I'll tell you why. At this point, we are deep into this thing as a culture and as a society. Hey, Relatable Reese, good to see you. We are deep into this now. And there's just not much chance of that going, why, thank you. You know what? You remember this shirt? Bought that in Bug Tussle with the Quibster. I'm not too concerned about this, but maybe it's because I understand how this whole process works. I've been through it. They never even friggin' considered letting me out. They didn't. My home was, I don't know, 2.5 miles from the courthouse. Married to an officer of the court. They never even considered it, but they sure as hell went out there and looked at it. You know, they even went out and looked at it in the very beginning when we were talking about just on the outside chance that my attorney, who I thought was a whole lot better than he was. May he rest in peace. He was awful. He really was. He was awful. But I was hoping to try to get maybe probation. I'm not even being funny, because they sell you on that kind of BS, right? They sell you on the thought that, we might even be able to get you a none of that crap. But they did come out and look at my they came out and look at where I live. They came out and took pictures. They did all of that stuff, right? They did all that stuff. That doesn't mean for a second that he's going to get let out. Hello, Miss Vintage Moon. How are ya? My Vintage Moon. I'm sorry. My Vintage Moon. Good to see you. Hey, Kathy K. Kim. Good to see you. From my favorite Canuck. Well, there's a lot of Canucks up there that, hey, Kathy K. There are a lot. Well, it's true. I am not rich and famous. I am definitely not rich and famous. However, this time, right, this is a judge that is far more concerned than was the last one. This judge is going to be very thorough, and I think that this judge is always going to preserve everything on the record, as if to say, hey, I looked at this. I was open. I was impartial. I read everything, right? Blah, blah, blah. But we keep getting back to the same stuff. And sometimes it gets depressing. It does feel like the fix is in, right? It feels like the fix is in sometimes. Hey, Anka. But I don't think it is. I really don't. I think that what we're seeing is actually a solid judge. The judge should take a look at everything, right? Every single part of it, and then say, do I really believe that we can protect society from this guy? Here's what you got to realize. If he gets this place, he's going to have visits from his family, right? They're not going to strip his kids out before they go in to see him. They're not. There's no chance of that. It would be really easy for his kids to carry in a cell phone. And you go, oh, come on, his kids wouldn't do that. Of course they would. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but we're already watching his kids taking orders from the inside and doing whatever dad tells them to do. By the way, you remember all the crap I got for the AI phone call, the fake phone call? Holy mackerel, man. They use that phone call everywhere as if it's solid. I think we were the only one that caught any crap for it. Everyone else is running that thing like it's real. Who knows? Who knows? But I'll tell you something. That's a great point. That's a great point. Feel sorry for his potential neighbors. If he gets out, imagine having children and living near Diddy, God Almighty. Or, well, for that matter. I mean, it's sick, right? But kids, adults, elderly, male, female. Honestly, I don't think I'd want my cat or dog anywhere near him either while you're bullshitting. It's just, he's a scary guy. Tractor, what's happening? The judge is dotting the I's and crossing the T's. I hope so too. Now, truthfully, who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. But my, you know what? I wish Quibbs was here, because she does this thing. I can't remember how she words it, but it has something to do with horses and zebras. But sometimes when you're looking at something, you know what I mean? You're looking, we look too much. We look too deep. I think sometimes we're looking for things where there isn't any. For instance, the Republicans just got elected into office, and they carried all three, the House, the Senate, and the White House. When that happens, prosecutors disappear. They quit or they get fired. The prosecutor bailing out yesterday, or saying that he's bailing out on the 31st of December, doesn't have anything to do with this case, I promise. And we're looking for it. We're absolutely looking for it, right? But Franconia Notch, it's snowing in Franconia Notch. Oh my goodness, Melissa, that's awesome. That's awesome. My old neck of the woods. My old neck of the woods. Got to run? All right. Well, thank you, Christy Hughes, and thank you for the support. We do have the greatest mods in the whole world. The cat lady from the country, good to see you. Managed to catch a live. I love that. Hope he's hidden the baby oil. Yes. Well, I think that there's a safe chance they're going to make sure that stuff is not out there and looked upon. Shire Kitty, welcome. Nice to see you. Moonchild Pink, how are you? Hey, PhD nurse practitioner. Glad you're here. Johnny Scoville is here. That is the Johnny Scoville. Surprised you to know that. Dinky, how are you? So listen, we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff that's going to make everybody start doing this number. It's going to be, you have to understand that in the federal system, it's fractured to beat hell, right? You've got pre-courts, you have court services. These are the people that would, if you got released on bail, you have to report to court services. But the people that send out to look at what the apartment is going to look like, to see if you could set up a place there safely, could you put security there and all of that, they're going to send out probably parole and probation to do that because it's what they do. They do this all the time, right? That's in their wheelhouse. But you understand how fractured this is. So it's this group saying to that group, you need to go out and check this out. And it all looks bad. And you know what? They want it to. I promise you, right? You understand? The defense wants the whole world talking about this. And the defense wants the whole world going, what? They're letting him out. They're letting him out. They want it to be a foregone conclusion, just in case old Subramanian might be looking at the old internet. Right? If he's looking at the interwebs, they want him completely chilled out for the concept of, yeah, we're all getting used to it. You think YouTube took down Ron's live this afternoon on Atwood's channel? Uh-oh. I didn't catch that. Sorry to hear that. What about a PSI, a pre-sentence investigation? The PSI is so Diddy won't have a PSI run on him until after there is a conviction or a change of plea. The pre-sentence investigation is just that. They do it before the sentencing. If they let him out, he's going to run. I believe so. Vivi, thank you very much, Sally. Vivi, I agree with you, man. I think if we let this guy out, what's worse than that is this. He's not going to be able to just run. He's not. They're going to have federal agents, big guys, retired dudes, guys who pack heat. And it's going to be their job to guard him. My fear is that he's going to want out of there badly enough that I'd hate for anything to happen to the people that are guarding him because he's going to be. This is the end of the road for this guy. He knows that too. That's the crazy thing is he knows that, right? What did he say? We got to taint this jury pool. We only need one. We only need one person on that jury, right? That we need to sway just that one person because the other 11, they know I'm an R-wording piece of, hey, Shelly Kelly, they know I'm an R-wording piece of dirt, right? Universal One says, I can't understand why they give these celebrities special treatment. The jail is unsafe and unfit for all. Damn right. Damn right. And I'll tell you something. Is it worse for Diddy? Because of his fame and his money and all that stuff, right? Is it worse? You bet, right? Bummer. You got a lot of cool stuff along with that fame too, didn't you? You got a $60 million jet. Holy crap. That's cool. You got 2 houses that are worth $60 million a piece. It isn't like you didn't get to go pimping big time. You got a Gullwing Mercedes-Benz. Ooh, got an original 427 Cobra. If there's something out there that says Holy Grail on it, this guy bought it. So guess what? Now your life sucks worse when you're in jail. Sorry about your luck. Maybe you shouldn't have SA'd half the country, right? Maybe you shouldn't have gone after women and kids and men all at the same time, right? Just a disturbing cat. Sorry, folks. Sorry. This is a guy that is Robbie, thank you so much. This guy's a lowlife, and I don't think that there's anybody here that doesn't realize it. But on the bright side, don't think for a second that Subramanian doesn't know who this dude is, right? But as much as we all want him to be Tommy, we would like Subramanian to come out and go like this. Are you kidding me, fool? Like I would let you out? There wouldn't be anybody in the city of New York that would be safe letting you out, you R-wording piece of vermin. If I had my way, I would pistol whip you so fast you would before you could say police brutality. That's not what's going to happen, right? In fact, he better not be that dude. This judge better be really, really even-handed right? The judge better be really even-handed. Do you understand what I mean? Because we don't want any of this overturned on appeal. We don't want any of this dragged through the mud. The Abercrombie guy, let me tell you something. This is what you got to think about. I'm not bright. I'm not. I'm a former bank robber, right? I'm not the brightest bulb. But listen to the logic in this. Do you know when the guy from Abercrombie and Fitch, Jeffries, do you know when he is accused of his crimes? When they stopped? 2015. Somebody helped me with math. I was told there'd be no math. Is that 9 years? I think it's 9 years. 9 years ago, right? Allegedly, right? Allegedly, the diddler was doing freak offs in July. Do you see the difference? One guy is in his 80s. One guy is in his 50s. See the difference? Massive difference. Okay. One, for all intents and purposes, has been a gangster for the last 30 years. And everybody seems to know that except the people that arrested him, right? They're just kind of catching wind of this. But the rest of the world has known this guy's a lowlife for 3 decades. Now, Jeffries is a pervert. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I don't think there's a lot of people out there going, how many people do you think he's whacked? You think he had anything to do with Tupac or Biggie or Kim Porter? You just keep rattling off names. It's a very big difference. Do you understand? How about pew-pews? Yeah, Jeffries probably got a couple of shotguns or some hunting rifles or something like that. They don't allege that, but people with money kind of have stuff like that. They do. But ARs, it's not really so much sporting as, that's meant to put an awful lot of lead downfield, right? In a really quick fashion. And it's something that you kind of feel like the people who have those tend to be using them for, and I'm not, hey, don't yell at me. We're not talking about Second Amendment stuff. I'm just telling you that because I sold these things and got in trouble for it, the people that bought them were not usually upstanding members of society. For real. They were popular among the gangster set, right? And 7 of them is a lot, right? And these were not normal magazines. With normal magazines on these things hold 30. 30's a lot, right? 100's way more, right? These big 100-round and 50-round sort of barrel magazines, man. Stuff. It's like the zombie apocalypse crap. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, he's not getting out. I promise you. Take a deep breath. I anticipate this dude staying in there. Jeffries was intimidating witnesses as well. Yeah, a little different, man. A little different, right? With you people. Sword sick thing you do. Jeffries is as bad or worse than Diddy. Nathan, with all due respect, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry, it is. Right? One individual, absolutely a dirtbag, isn't pistol whipping people. He isn't grabbing 9-year-olds, right? Molesting 9-year-olds while the parents are on the other side of a door. Are you serious or are you doing this for laughs? Huh? Are you doing this for laughs? Or are you really equating these two things? Where's his list of dead bodies? He's way worse than Diddy? Oh, come on, man. Honestly, you can't be serious. You can't be. Yeah, the guy's a dirtbag for sure he is. 2015, kind of had a run and took off. He's not alleged for anything RICO. Do you understand the difference? Huh? What they're alleging is that Diddy ran an enterprise to do nothing other than what he's doing. That's not what's alleged, right? With our guy. That's not what Jeffrey is alleged to have done. It is apples and friggin' oranges, man. It really is. I'm sorry. Oh, no, they're both evil, to be sure. But the question is, why did one get out on bail and one not, right? That's the difference, right? That is the question that we are faced with at the moment. And one has been running a criminal enterprise, right? No different than the mafia, which is why they didn't just arrest him for trafficking. They hit him with the mafia law, right? That's what it's always been. RICO is for guys that run a criminal organization, because back in the day, the guy at the top, he would say, all right, send so-and-so out to bump this person off. Well, if you catch the person that did it, you're not getting the guy at the top. Okay, we got the guy who who bumped him off. But so they came up with RICO so that you could charge the person at the top for what the people in the bottom did. And everybody along the entire chain would become part of one crime. You could literally lock up 60 people on one murder because they're all pulling for the same direction. You see? And it's not what was going on. It's just very cut and dry. The guy's a scumbag. I'm not giving him any break. I'm explaining the difference between why $10 million was a reasonable bond on a decrepit old man, and not and there's not really a set of circumstances. At least the first two judges didn't think so. A man and a woman, a magistrate judge and a regular judge, who both said, I don't see any set of circumstances that you could put into place, right, that would make society safe from this guy. Crazy thing is, even in the system he's in now, right now we have him locked up. He's inside, locked up. He's got people watching him. Everything is in place. If he makes a phone call, it's recorded. If he dials into a system, guess what? If somebody else uses the system, he's not splitting the atom. They're not looking for anything other than phone numbers. So if I dial a phone number and it's 555-1212, and then I do it on someone else's number, the system is just tracking the 555-1212. They're all recorded. Everything he did has been recorded. They know what he's saying. They know who he's trying to bribe, who he's trying to threaten. They see stuff we don't, I promise. Right? This is I was looking through the filings just from today, and all it was a couple of letters, but there are sections of it this big redacted. It would be really interesting to see what the hell, eventually we're going to get to read all of this stuff. But boy, they're redacting a lot of stuff. Even letters to the judge, they're redacting half of. It's very, very unusual stuff. But yeah, the technology is a lot different than it used to be, which is a real bonus for the courts, and it's not so much for the criminals, right? I mean, we're in a place today, a day and age where every single phone call, every single text messages, every single email, it's all recorded. The frightening thing becomes, if you can't keep this guy from breaking every rule under the sun while you got him locked up, what do you think is going to happen when you put him in an apartment? His kid comes in, signs in, walks and takes a burner phone out of his pants and hands it to Diddy. Are these people going to be going in and tossing his apartment? For real, they're going to be going in and searching this apartment on the Upper East Side, because I promise you, it's going to be easier to hide stuff in there than it would be in a cell smaller than a walk-in closet, right? I understand that the constraints of this case make it difficult to prepare for a legal defense when you're incarcerated, but maybe you should have thought of that, right? Before you went full scumbag. Before you decided to run a criminal enterprise, get caught for it. I mean, now that you're caught for it, your complaint is, well, there's so much info to go through. Well, you created it. This was your info. Pretty messed up. It really is. It's pretty messed up. It's no, there's nothing wrong ever with asking for help. Are you kidding? Brandon, where you at? Where you at? Am I missing him? Brandon, how are you? Hey, you know what, Brandon? Keep your chin up, man. It's always darkest right before the sunrise, and I mean that. It's not just one of those things that people say. Keep your chin up, man. Yeah, AVAC, I'm with you. Correct, right? I've said this too, right? How hard should it be to go through it? You know who it is that USA'd. You know what you've done. Brandon, I've been there. It is a tough thing. I have a friend that comes on the boat on a pretty regular basis, and I did time with him in a state facility years ago. He was doing life, and he was doing life with the possibility of parole. after 15 years. He was convicted of first-degree murder, which is really odd because the person he killed, he had no intention of killing. He swung a pool cue at somebody. The person ducked, and the pool cue hit somebody else, right? And that person, the person was killed, but that's not who he was swinging at. Somehow, though, he pled guilty to premeditated murder, but he has since gotten off paper. But I remember when he got out of prison, and he had to get a job or they were going to send him back. And you talk about just rugged, man. You know, you walk in to for a job interview and they say, have you ever been convicted of anything? And he's getting out within 7 years. He has to stay out 7 years before he can put nothing on the job interview, right? On the when he fills out a job application. So everywhere he went, they'd say, really, what were you convicted of? Murder. Have a nice day. Murder. Have a nice day. And this just continued and continued. And I want to say he was at 40, had been shot down on 40 consecutive job interviews for the exact same reason. And he had come over to my house and was having lunch with me. And my dad was still alive at that point. And my dad gave him a pep talk. It was one of those things. And I remember sitting there thinking, God, Dad, you know what I mean? Like, but years later, he said to me, you're old man. He said, I just kept going back out. I think he was in the 50s or 60s, right? 60 times he went and had a job interview that he got shot down on. And you start thinking, God, help us, man. Like, how do you keep skin that thick, right? To knock out 60 of them until you finally got one that hired the dude. The crazy thing is this. That was about 5 days. No joke. He figured if he didn't have a job within a week to 10 days, they were probably going to take him back. So he just went from one to the next to the next. He never waited to hear from the first one. He just kept burning. Guy's a machine. These days, they have, he has been, I don't know what the word is, not pardoned. They commuted. His sentence has been commuted. He no longer has to do life probation. It's a really great story. It really is. Yeah, sounds like accidental death, right? But unfortunately, what they said in the state was 2 consecutive thoughts make premeditation. Pull it back, decide to swing it, there you go. It's premeditated. Even if the person that you're swinging at isn't the person that you hit. It's pretty twisted, but that's how it worked out. Bad times is definitely a temporary thing. I've had plenty of them. I think everybody has. But you know something, Brandon? The right thing to do is to not suffer in silence. To let people know that you're hurting for real, there's nothing better. And you will find people that will rise up to the occasion. Got a lot of people here that understand bad times and understand that support usually helps you get. Hammer this one home real quick, and then I'm going to call this one don't lose heart over this thing. Don't listen to the hype. I'd give it the same odds that I gave it the last time we talked about this. You follow me? This hasn't changed anything. The only thing that's changed is they've sent out court services to go check out where he would be going. That's to cover their ass. If by some chance the judge does rule in their favor, they don't want to go, oh, we'll have somebody out there today to look at it. It's not how it works. They have to chase down everything what if everything that the defense said's a lie? Your Honor, we got an apartment. It's on the east side. We got all this set up. We have a firm to go in there and watch. We've got security all set up. What if none of that's true? What if there's no apartment? You understand? Everything has to be chased down. And what we're hearing right now is we're hearing how they're going out and doing this and they're talking to these people. They'd have to. It's just part of the process. Whether or not they get accepted or whether or not they get shot down, this is part of the process. Capiche? So don't get all don't get concerned about this. And I'll tell you something else. Even if they let him out, right? And I'm hoping that there's no chance of that. And I still don't think it doesn't make any sense, right? They have their job to do. This is what has to happen. This is what has to happen, right? Always. They went and checked out every place I ever wanted to go to on bail. And I promise they never even considered letting me go to any of them. They didn't. It's not how they get down. But they've got to cover themselves. Hold on one second. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Sorry, peeps. Yeah. Sharon, you're absolutely right, man. How many times can they ask for bail? Norma, in theory, they can ask for bail as many times as they want. However, the way it is supposed to happen is you're not supposed to ask again if there hasn't been something changed, something dramatically changed. Do you understand? Let's say, if they take the death penalty off of the table, sometimes that will get you a bail hearing, because if the death penalty is on the table, there's no chance you're getting bail. So if they remove that off of the table, then there's a shot. There's supposed to be a change. If some piece of evidence gets thrown out or something, there's been some huge change that says, let's go back in front of the judge. The judge loses their sense of humor if you keep going and saying, we'd like to have you look at this again. We'd like to have you look at this one more time. And it's not in their best interest to piss off the judge, because they're stuck with him for the remainder of the trial. My next live, 6:05 Pacific, 6:05 on the West Coast of the United States of America. That is my next live. He named himself Puff due to his temper. Yes, that's what they claim, is that originally as a kid he would puff up and get very, very angry very quickly. His temper seems to have stuck with him, right? He's a real hero. Likes to put hands on people when he's having a bad time, and it seems as though the people that he likes to hit are more often than not women and kids. He's a tough guy. Is someone running Diddy's biz, or does he have a biz left? He does not. I promise you, he does not. It's fun sometimes to look it up, right? Sorry. If the people settle out of court with Diddy, can the court still not make them testify? I don't know, James Collins. That's an interesting question. I don't think the courts can compel someone. I mean, you could try to make somebody talk, but I don't think you can compel somebody to testify about things. If you could subpoena them, you can get them in there, but I've seen people go in and just make it very, very difficult. Hello, Lily Benjamin. Best to you this time of year. All right. Am I trying to pull a TD Jakes there? No. No, I don't think so. This is the third time, Meep. This is there was the first judge that he went in front of was a woman. It was a magistrate judge, and that woman said, "No, we're not letting you out." Then he got the judge that was going to be the judge that was actually going to hear his case. That judge shot him down. Right? Then that judge had to recuse himself. The kind of confusing as to why, honestly, but there's a lot of different reasons. Allegedly, one of them has to do with time and scheduling with other trials. Also, his wife is an attorney who deals with high finance, and there may have been some overlap between some of the things that Diddy did and some of the large lending institutions. So not exactly sure what the deal was, but after that attorney recused himself, we got Subramanian. That is the judge that we have now. That judge has not heard the bail, so that is what we're doing now. There is also another one. Hey, Tony Suter. There's another one currently, and another appeal. There's another appeal currently in front of the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. It's in abatement. It's sitting there waiting for Sub-Romanian to rule. If Sub-Romanian rules that this is we're going to keep him in, at that point they're going to appeal this to the Second Circuit. Now, when you think about it through that lens, do you understand why this judge is really taking his time and looking at all of this, so that when they go to appeal this, which they're going to do within a couple of days, just got on. No, he did not get bail yet, Ann Brown. We're waiting to hear if that's the case. But you got to remember this, right? There's already an appeal at the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. It's waiting for this decision. If you're the judge, you'd probably like to make it bulletproof, right? Like to make it bulletproof. Lorraine says, I believe he will get bail if the higher-ups want him unalived. And they can't do that again in a Fed lockup. So they want him out. I'm not sure that I agree with the premise. With all due respect, I'm not sure that the higher-ups, I think that this guy is, I think he's been slated for execution, right? So to speak, not literally, figuratively. But I think this is going to be a guy that I think they're going to take him out. I think it's been decided that they were going to take him out. And if the people above him really wanted to, if they were worried about him, I don't know that this ever would have happened. I just don't think that the higher-ups want this guy gone. I think the higher-ups want this guy convicted. But that's me. That's me. I could be wrong. Electric Boogaloo, good to see you. I think that I don't think that they're going to be able to hide all of the money. I don't. I think that because of the fact that this is how they charged him, anybody that's hiding funds in this could be part of the RICO case, right? And when you start going down that road, a lot of times people start to think that money may not be quite as important. Bill Herrera says that somebody said that Sub-Romanian was punting the decision until next week. Wow, that would be a shocker, man. It's giving them a hell of a lot of time to look it over, isn't it? Maybe that's the truth. I have not, as of the time I was going live, that certainly had not, but that doesn't mean anything, right? This is definitely something that is evolving while we're watching it. Yvette, the judge did not announce, as of the time that I went live about 39 minutes ago, there was not any time set. The judge was waiting yesterday, in theory. The judge was waiting to hear the final arguments on this from both sides, which they did. Now, part of the package from the defense would also be that Court Services has gone out, checked this out, said that this is a property that could be hardened, right? In other words, if it's not someplace that you could realistically set up guards and make it safe, right? You have to know that it's someplace that can be done. Because if not, then we need to find some other place or something along those lines. Am I making sense? Okay. So that's what's happening currently. They're out there looking on it. He stays inside, so they keep a watchful eye on him. He's done. I'll tell you what, one way or the other. Thank you, Arwa. Look at that. People are turning green all over. People are turning green all over. Lindy, you're all right. Thank you, Arwa. You thought the defense letter was damning? I'll tell you something. You really kind of got to read all of this stuff, reread it. I'll tell you what. One of the things that really got me was they really do look really bad with this BS about the legal mail versus not legal mail. What something was written on there after it had already been photographed. When you read there was the filing from last Friday from the judge. The judge was not happy about that at all. The judge wanted to hear in the response, you want to explain to me how the hell that happened, kind of a thing. And I didn't necessarily see them explain a hell of a lot about what happened. I don't think people are as everybody seems to think the judge is leaning really hard toward Diddy. I don't see that. I really don't. I think he's being very careful, and I think he knows that not only will this be appealed, it'll be appealed next friggin' week, right? So it's probably a pretty good idea to take your time, you know? Yeah, a play out of Pablo Escobar's playbook. What, you make your own prison? Thank you, Arwa. It is the season for green. I like it. Lindy, I don't blame you. I'd like to do that myself sometimes. Bring on 2025. Pity we won't see. Yeah, you know something? We're not going to see this. We're not going to see this live. I think it's going to be fascinating to watch reporters run out of those courtrooms to tell you exactly what is going on in there, and it's probably going to make some people famous, right? There are going to be some reporters that come out of this. The people that can go in there and do a fairly good job in explaining what just happened, it's going to make people famous. Marx Brothers, Young Frankenstein. Wow, I'll tell you what, you have great taste. You have great taste. I am a huge fan of Young Frankenstein. I was trying to talk my girl into checking that out. Has never seen it, which was a shocker to me at the time. But anyway, careers will be made, Bill Herrera. Absolutely, they will be. I promise. This is going to be one of those things. Yeah, I would love to see Joel from Surviving the Survivor out there. I don't know if he'd make the trip to New York, but I'd love to be out there. I really would. But we shall see. You know, Diddy, I would imagine that Diddy's first 2 or 3 weeks in there would be really, really tough. You know, one of the things that's an issue right now for real is that Diddy and his attorneys, he was chastised for all the rules he was breaking at the jail. And his attorney showed up and said, hey, that's over, right? That is over. It's not being done anymore. And he proceeded to do it the following day, right? Which was yesterday. Day before yesterday. He was still using other people's PAC numbers. And by the way, people say PAC, like PAC means something. I don't know what those letters mean, because inside they just call it your PAC number, right? You have your reg number and your PAC number. So if it's an acronym, I don't know what it is. There's no periods in it. It's usually just PAC. So, but it's a PAC number. Yeah, federal cases are never televised. Young Frankenstein is the one with Peter Boyle, Kathy. Absolutely it is. Diddy did make his lawyers look like idiots, and this is something that happens again and again. No, nobody else would, and that's the truth. Hey, I love that. I love that. From South Turkey. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. I'm a big fan of Surviving the Survivor. Joel and his family are fantastic. They really are. But welcome. Hey, Vampy. 2 months. Time flies when you're having fun. Phone access code? Maybe. But you use it for a lot more than just the phone. The PAC number is used for a lot of crap. Personal account code? That might be it. I don't know. It's always just been PAC. But like I said, there's no dots in it, but it's always just been a PAC number. Personal account code, that would make sense, because you use it for the phone, you use it for the computer, and depending, sometimes at some of the commissaries you have to punch it in. The newer ones just have a thumbprint. You put your thumb on it. Phone access code. It could be, Kathy. That could be. I don't know. You know, one of the odd things about a PAC number is it never changes either. Like if you get out of prison for 7 years and then you go back to prison in the feds, you're going to have the same PAC number. which is funny because I guarantee you I could not tell you what my pack number is. But if I got in, as soon as I read it, I'd go, oh my God, like it would come back to me in a second because that did happen to me once already. Yeah, Real T, you're good. You're not that late. So why would bail be granted to the diddler? Well, it hasn't been, right? It hasn't been. And before anybody gets too stressed out about it, right? It hasn't been. And what is happening is, and again, I'll repeat this because I think it bears repeating. Currently, what is happening is that we know, right? Subramanian knows that there is an appeal at the Second Circuit Court of Appeals waiting in abatement. And the second that he rules on this, they're going to start appealing it. It's already going to be there waiting to be appealed. So I think that the judge is making sure that everything is done perfectly so that there's not going to be an issue. Dinky, yeah, I hope you're doing well. I did respond to that. It was a horrific story. I hope you're doing all right. Shire Kitty, 13 months. Wow. Time flies. Time flies. Thank you, Shire Kitty. Well, I enjoy having you. Thank you. I love it when people pop up. If he's granted bail, can that be appealed? It can. It absolutely can. That is something that can happen for sure. Appeals can go in both directions. The prosecution could appeal if he was granted bail. They could appeal it to the Second Circuit. Again, I don't know that we have to worry about that, but we will find out. I could be, look, maybe I'm way off base, man. Maybe this is going to just freak me out. And Subramanian's going to walk out and go, yeah, no, this is a lock. We're doing this. I would be shocked. But what do we don't know. But yeah, who knows? Crazy stuff, people. Crazy stuff. All right. I promise you, peeps, for the time being, let not your heart be troubled. All right? For real. Let's put a little faith in the system. When you hear stuff like they're going out to check out the place so that he could be out of there, this is how the process works. Whether you are accepted or whether you are shot down, they're still going to go and do exactly what they're doing. This is not, I promise, this is how it goes down one way or the other. Wouldn't an appeal on the deck of the Ninth Circuit be in bad faith since the judgment is based on its pending? Yes. Well, when you put it in abatement, it's not, Lily, and it's the Second Circuit. If it was the Ninth Circuit, we'd be in real trouble, right? I was in the Ninth Circuit, and the Ninth Circuit is liberal. He'd have a shot in the Ninth Circuit of probably getting bail. It's believe it or not, that the Second Circuit is far less out there. The Ninth Circuit really leans towards the criminal. You know what? I appreciate that. Miklos, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The kind words and the support. It's a very kind thing to say. The defaced weapons, I think that they are saving those charges for later, if you want to know the truth. I do. I think it's one of those ace in the hole things because it is an issue. I think, it is an issue. It seems like it's, Passport Shogun says, as someone who's been falsely accused before, I hope everyone should be entitled to bail. Well, that sounds good. It really does. But this, and there are tons of people in the past have been, have been accused of things they haven't done. In the feds, for something like a RICO charge, there's years of them putting this together before they bring it forward. They're vicious with how much they prepare. And because of the particular crimes that he is accused of, and I don't mean RICO, but I'm referring to the human trafficking and the other ones, those are crimes that in their nature, right? In the feds, you are not entitled to bail on them. You have to prove why, in spite of those crimes, you should be allowed to have bail. Personally, I don't find anything about this dude to be credible in terms of innocence. Nothing. If for a second I thought, maybe on the outside chance, but watching him beat the piss out of a woman in a hallway who he swore on a stack of Bibles a couple of days before he had never put hands on her or any other woman. Yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape watching this scumbag go through what he's going through. I don't think everybody should be should have a shot. Now, I think that everybody in theory should, and that's what's happening right now. They're looking at this guy like they would look at anybody else, and I think that when it's all said and done, we're going to find out that this is a guy that's not safe out on the street. Allegedly, and then allegedly nothing. Allegedly how they get it, maybe. But everybody around this cat seems to get this type of pneumonia that bounces them off of the planet in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Odd. I don't know anybody that's died of pneumonia. Everybody this cat knows has. Kind of gives me the creeps. But, honestly, what do it's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that. There is still an open case on that, Casey. There is still an open case on the guns from Danny Masterson. There's and it's a fascinating thing because the people that you know what, I won't go down that rabbit hole because we will get really off in the weeds, but I will be more than happy to we need to do a whole show on that. Oh yeah, this is actually a really interesting point in terms of how they say if something changes, right, then you can give another. If there's a superseding indictment and those superseding indictments have to do with kids, it would change up that whole bail thing as well. And it absolutely could happen. Yeah, you know what? That wouldn't bother me either. That wouldn't bother me either, my friend in Turkey. I promise you that would not bother me either. I think that every once in a while. Yeah, we did see him. We didn't just see him commit a felony on camera, but a really butt ugly felony on camera. And yeah, there was dope found in the apartment. Look, in the hotel room. But 1,000 bottles of G, 1,000 bottles of G, right? It's hard to wrap your brain around. So you're a drug dealer. You're dealing that stuff at the top of the echelon of this music mogul. He's just a drug dealer. That's hard for me to wrap my brain around. So if that's not the case, then you do so much, right, of men and women that you need 1,000 bottles of this crap. Either way you shake it, that's terrifying. It'll be interesting, Lorraine, to see the if the feds have been watching him for years, wouldn't they have found some kids by now? We don't know that they haven't, Passport Shogun. We don't. You see, you can't just dump the crap onto the table, even if they have the stuff, the evidentiary process, how all of this stuff gets brought in. I mean, we know right now, right? We know right now at a minimum there are 6 cases pending from people that who were underage who were assaulted by this cat. Now, the feds may not have been privy to that 2 or 3 months ago because these people have kind of come out of the woodwork. However, in almost all of these cases, they went to authorities. They went to hospitals. Reports were made. So it's going to be interesting. It sure is. And maybe you're right. Maybe this is all just an attempt to get the poor innocent Mr. Combs. That would be a bummer. I don't think that's what we're going to run into, but we will find out. This is going to play out, and it's going to play out with the world watching. Hey, Hill Hath No Fury, good to see you. Yes, he paid $30 million to Cassie for a fake video. AI generated, yes. $30 million in 24 hours. And you know something, right about now, right? Every minute of every day, he spends about 3 or 4 seconds of that minute going, I offered her 10 million. She came to me years ago, right before this happened. She showed up and said, 30 million, this goes away. He said, how about 10? I'll bet you he's wishing that he had just kicked that 30 to her the first time he had a shot. Because once that got filed, it all went from there. And I'll tell you something. The question on everybody's lips, who leaked that video, right, to CNN? Who would be happy to leak that without paying for it, right? Without getting paid. Think of how much you could have got for that. Well, if you had just gotten 30 million a couple of days earlier or a couple of months earlier, maybe that was Cassie that leaked that, or Cassie's attorney that leaked that. Maybe she knew all of the crap she was going to hear from the entire world about how she's just a money grabber and everything she's saying is a lie and this and that. I don't know. If it were me, maybe I'd want to leak that too. Just a thought. But I think it's a decent one, right? Plastic surgeon waiting on his private med flight. Oh, look at me getting all conspiratorial. Yeah, you know. Layla, I'm sorry that you never got a notification. That just sucks. Yeah, Cassie or her lawyer, right? I think it was probably Cassie or her lawyer. And either way, I'd like to high five either of them, right? I'd like to high five either of them. You know what's been happening? Hey, Reese, you know what's been happening for a real long time, huh? Enough people have been so afraid of this dude that he's been able to do whatever the hell he wanted and just ride roughshod against everything. Well, maybe it's time for a little payback. Maybe this is the world just bitch slapping this dude because he's got it coming, right? It's a karmatic bitch slap. I'd kind of like to believe that's what's going on with this dude, but maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Yeah. Is he getting bail, pussycat? Not yet. He's not. How is he killing people with pneumonia? Does he have access to a lab? Well, no. Apparently, if there are several poisons that if you poison someone with, what it does is it decimates their ability to fight off infections and things of that nature. So they become very susceptible to pneumonia. There are other things that can knock them off, but it ends up very often being pneumonia because of the severely compromised immune system. So who knows? Yeah. Excuse me. If I think if he gets back out, I hope that they're drug testing him on the regular. I think if he gets back out, he'll be using cell phones that they don't know about. I think he'll be contacting witnesses as much as possible, and I think he'll be getting wasted. If you've been addicted to opiates for 25 or 30 years and you're getting back out, I don't see him not getting some dope. How will they check if drugs are coming in and out of the apartment if he gets bail? Well, that's a hell of a question, isn't it, Olive? What they'll have to do is drug test him. A chemist could doctor medication. Well, I would say that he's had chemists that have been doing it in the past. He would have had to. And I believe, my personal opinion, hello, Danette McClure, hello, Ann Brown. My personal opinion is this. There were doctors on staff, literally on staff. Because if not, we'd have had dead people all over the place. It's a very dangerous substance to mix the way he was doing it. There would be dead people all over the place. Apparently, he had a medical unit on a dental chair in one of the tunnels. I've heard that too, but I heard it in the very early days of this, and I've not heard anything about it since. But yeah, I heard that too. Lena in Love, 3 months. Wow. Nice. Nice. All right, peeps. Yeah, I think this is going to be an issue, I promise. And if it's not, then we got a problem. Epstein had a dental chair in one of his shipping containers. Well, that wouldn't surprise me, Marmalade. It really wouldn't. And you know what? We're going to see a lot of, this is just, let me address this one real quick because somebody else sent me an email about this. The hotel employees could have done that, right? They could have. But if you were the hotel employee and you were going to send that to CNN, why wouldn't you send 10 seconds of it to CNN and say, I'm going to sell you the entire thing for $100,000? You know how fast they'd give you $100,000 for that? For real. I mean, 20 or 30 be a laydown, but you probably get 100 grand. You may even be able to get more than that. To just give it away? No, I think you would have to be somebody that's sitting on 30 million and not caring, right? Just my humble opinion. But what do I know? And on and on. Replay crew, we love the replay crew. Thank you. All right, folks, that's the news. I will be back tonight. It'll be 6:05 Pacific, right? Between now and then, folks, reach out and try to save somebody. All right? And if I've been a little snippy, if I did anything to offend you, we'll see you on the next one, folks. Bye-bye.